Democrats cave and reopen the government and cater to the Republicans' requests, my biggest question is, why did we do this? Why did we shut down the government for a month just for you guys to cave to them, just so they can do this shit next month? Don't cave.
I am so sick and tired of establishment Democrats thinking that they can trust Republicans on literally anything. Literally anything. It's like they saw all of the momentum from the elections last week and said, we got to put a stop to that. We had too much winning going on for one night. We got to stop that. Like, it makes no sense. And they are 100% being bought off. And these are the same people that are so terrified of Zoran Mamdani. Meanwhile, they can't even fight for healthcare for their own people. They can't even sit there and point out the fact that the SNAP contingency fund was there. And the president is openly flouting the courts and going to the highest courts in the land to get out of what he was already court ordered to do. Feed the people. And instead, you've got these establishment Democrats that are going off of a promise to vote on these subsidies when you know all of those motherfuckers are going to vote no on it anyway. Every single one of these establishment Democrats just signed their own death certificate tonight for their political career.
The level of ignorance from Democrats and liberal white women is insane. It is crazy. All right. So if a lower court that can be influenced by whatever it is that's happening in popular culture, makes a ruling, but then it goes up to a Supreme Court, then that means that they both went up to courts, and that is the established rule based off of how you appeal and then whether or not the Supreme Court actually rules in your favor or against you. And so we have to basically set that aside and also make it make sense when it comes to New York City, right? New York City is super liberal. And so because Andrew Cuomo, and they didn't have any reasonable candidate, Sliwa wasn't electable because he's not marketable, but because y'all decided to roll with a socialist, and y'all will see what that turns into. You think that the Democrats were supposed to keep our air traffic controllers, safety. The House already said that they was not going to even take up any legislation that had anything to do with what the Democrats was requiring. They was holding the country hostage to try to continue to leverage healthcare coverage, especially for illegal migrants, to subsidize what is happening in states like California. And then you had 8 Democrats that finally said, you know what? We not going to prevent people from taking care of themselves. Y'all was just whining and complaining. Food stamps need to be cut back on. And now you mad and y'all saying that y'all want really extreme liberal Democrats to take over. This country is going to hell in a handbasket, bro.
And I hope that every single one of them is replaced with a Zoran Mamdani type, because I'm over it. I'm over it.
This is the last thing I'm going to say about the Senate Democrats' utter cowardice on this. They think that we live in a world where bipartisanship and holding hands and West Wing ass Aaron Sorkin dialogue is going to smooth over virtually every problem we ever have, and good faith is always going to be a thing that exists in American politics. When I tell you that they are living in an entirely different reality, this is what I mean. I saw a couple of senators that voted for this thing to end the government shutdown unironically say, this gives us an opportunity to have a vote in 40 days on the Affordable Care Act subsidies. And it's like, you're touting a pinky promise for a vote, maybe, when they already ignored the last time that they made a pinky promise to have a vote. You're expecting them to do it now. And by the way, Chuck Schumer voted no on it, and there's an obvious reason why. He either lobbied the other yeses so that he knew it was going to pass so that he could then cover his own ass and vote no, so that he could tell any future primary challenger, see guys, I didn't support this. Or he didn't support it and has absolutely no control over his caucus. Either way, that's disqualifying as a leader. I'm going to go back to watching Dexter, but all I'm going to say is this. The Democratic Party as it exists today cannot exist in the future.
Listen, the Democratic Party, the reason why the Democratic Party is so trash today is not that they're, actually listening and voting the way that they're supposed to vote, because we was never supposed to have the government shut down in the first place. The reason why the Democrats are the way that they are today is in shambles is because they are too extreme left, and the Democrat Party of today is not the same Democrat Party from the 90s. As a matter of fact, I would even make the argument to say that the Republican Party somewhat resembles what the Democrats were advocating for in the 90s. And so a lot of these younger evil people want the world to crash and burn. They want socialism. They want for there to be 90% taxes on people that have resources, and they want the government to control them. And so they are mad at the fact that we actually reopened the government. The majority of the people that I seen whining and complaining were liberals. They were liberals. And the air traffic controllers was saying, we gonna shut this bitch down. Everybody was sitting there whining and complaining about the state of the government. Furloughed employees was getting evicted. And so, they did the right thing. They opened up the government. They never should have shut it down in the first place. And now, y'all feeling some type of way about it. Get over it. Take your L. Y'all been taking L's all year.
Needs to be a fundamental change, systemic change from the root up. I wish I was a fly on the wall of every Senate candidate running an anti-establishment campaign, because they just got the ultimate boon.
There's a lot of people pissed off, still have a lot of fight in them, and I respect that. I do. But you got to understand something. There's a reason the Democrats made the deal that they did. And it's this. It's really simple. It's not hard. The Republicans made it clear there was no deal to be had. They would destroy anything. They were willing to drive the airlines into bankruptcy. And remember, this is the travel season. This is where the airlines make their money. And the Republicans were more than happy to bankrupt the airlines. They were more than happy to destroy the holidays, destroy the economy. They looked the Democrats dead in the eye and said, there is nothing that we won't destroy. There's no one we will not hurt.
Of course, that will be the narrative from a big back cowboy with a Harris Walls shirt on. But let's hear what he has to say.
You saw that with the SNAP benefits. They're willing to just starve the least capable of us, the most vulnerable. And at that point, you can either not believe them, which I absolutely believe them. I believe that there was nothing they were not willing to do to destroy the Affordable Care Act. It did not matter to them. And that being the case, what's the point of the shutdown? I mean, I commend the Democrats for trying. But when there's no deal to be made, when the Republicans are telling you, keep it shut down forever, we're destroying the Affordable Care Act, then it just becomes us making sure that air traffic controllers aren't getting paid. TSA is not getting paid. Government employees aren't getting paid. If there's no point to it, if there's no deal to be made to continue on, while I get it, man, you've got fire. You were in for this fight. I understand that. But at that point, there's no point. It becomes us hurting people for no discernible reason. I get it, and I respect your fire.
But go ahead and take your L. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I always like to give credit to content creators, regardless of whether I agree or not, so that'll also be in the description. We're going to discuss this more at length on the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments about the government reopening. I think it's a good thing.